professional career. I thought Carter looked very determined as he
якому
came into the
зіграють
arena.
Алі
His
Картер і Ронні О'Саліван.
fist clenched,
І грається друга півсесія.
Big night ahead for both.
Фінальна стадія
First to 10
турніру
wins,
першої
Carter
півсесії
leads
кінцем з
5-3.
рахунком
He
5-3.
played superbly this afternoon, as he has all week. Can he keep it going?
Користь.
Because he's up against the greatest has ever been.
Так, Ронні О'Саліван третій в рейтингу, Алі Картер 11-й.
Sullivan played a very open
Кожен
attacking
цьому
game,
турнірі грав
but when they weren't going in, he was punished. Ali Carter made 2 centuries.
Робертсон,
And looked very
Керрі
good.
Вілсон.
But this nil, the session obviously that really counts.
Yeah, all week he's done it, but like you say, in
Marvin
this
J.
pulsating
Williams.
atmosphere at the Ali Pali tonight, he's got to finish off the job.
Так, в матчі грається 19 фреймів. Початок 9-го фрейму. Ронні О'Саліван забуває червоний шар
For me, actually, I looked at
ліву ближню лузу.
the bookmakers see it now after these 8 frames, and this is the perfect scoreline. It's virtually evens each of 2 now, with everybody. Just the view that that lead of 5-3 means both players have got almost an equal chance of winning. Any other scoreline, an easier lead for Carter or Ronnie level or in front, he'd have been a red-hot favourite, but this is the scoreline. They can't work out who will win, and that adds to it all, I think. You could have a strong opinion either way, but you could be wrong.
В 9-му фреймі
It was played at a breakneck speed.
вихід на
The
розовий.
average frame time just 11 minutes.
Забуває у ближню ліву лузу. Вихід на червоний.
It's such a big evening, particularly for Carter, of course, trying to win one of these major titles. Oh dear.
Well, the reason for that was actually the red on the right of the table near Ben Williams right now, because he didn't want to play thin off the bunch and hit that one on the way back. So he went the other way, missed it altogether. That's the reason for it. Got to be careful not to push this.
Рахунок стоїть 5-4 на користь
Ben Williams on the
Алі
spot.
Картера.
And he certainly didn't push it.
Початок 10-го фрейму.
I think Ronnie's just got to get the right balance, isn't he, O'Sullivan, in controlled aggression and just making a mistake like he did in frame 8, a safety shot which was a little bit wild, I thought, which cost him that frame as he was just clawing back into the session. It's going to be terrific tonight.
Well, he's got all the experience in the world, of course, of these big finals. This is 14th in the Masters. He's won it 7 times. He's never won it having trailed at half-time, though, in a final.
And it's a nice split, a meaty contact with the bunch, but it could have broke better for him. Obviously, the element of luck is always there when you don't really know where the balls are going to go. You just hope that something will spread well enough to be potable. Where's his next pot coming from? I don't think anywhere here. Already looking at potential safety areas. And this is it. The balance is to be met with paying attention to safety shots in positions like this. I think it's been a little reckless. A bit unlucky if he's left the red on.
Well, let's see how Ali Carter is feeling. As I say, looked confident walking in. He's looked confident all week. Of course, he's had, I mean, you always get a tough draw at the Masters, but his has been particularly brutal. You've had Mark Williams, of course, Judd Trump, Mark Allen, and now Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's stayed positive. His temperament's been good. All of that he needs to continue for however long this match lasts for tonight.
Yeah, as I say, O'Sullivan was a bit unfortunate there with the red hitting the bump and going back towards the cue ball. It's a good layout of reds, but as you can see, black tied up, pink not easy to get on.
6. 7.
'Cause it's been a long break, hasn't it, since the end of the first session, 3.5 hours or so. So just getting used to the surroundings again here. Bit of table time early on.
Yeah, for the spectators with all-day tickets as well, a lot of time for them to mill around and eat and drink or whatever they decided to do. Because, as you say, the first session was played at such a rate of knots that
18.
there was a big gap.
Yeah, and Carter was very much part of that. That's what impressed me this afternoon. You know, he was very sure of himself at the table. He wasn't prevaricating, looking for problems, just playing at a nice pace. 19 seconds a shot in the match. O'Sullivan at 16.
$24. 25.
Also well played to finish just perfectly on the blue there, top side, just.
Yeah, 2 centuries this afternoon to take his tally to 8. That's equaling Ronnie O'Sullivan's record in the Masters. He's done that twice.
Quite a good shot there because, as we know, he has to get an angle on a red to get up for something a little bit lower than the pink or black in value. Let's see what kind of angle he does have. Not a wide angle, but he has got the other red, which is definitely taking him up the table.
$31.
It's going to be a difficult break to take him over the line here, just because the cue ball's going to have to come up and down the table quite a lot, I think.
$34.
First sign of it being a mistake. It's very hard to think you could get from blue to red here very comfortably anyhow. What you can do is drop this in, I think. Can't play all around the angles. Makes the pot missable. This next red now is eminently missable.
40.
Whether he goes for the red close to the right corner, or he's got a different way of playing it to keep the ball safe if he misses. He's playing the big shot. Yeah. Deciding it was all too much. It's a bit unfortunate that he's got it off from there. I think he played the right shot under the circumstances, the safety shot, but he went off, sadly, for him. Not easy the way he's playing it. Pushing the cue ball up the table, extra pace required. Well, to think he might win the frame from here, you'd have to be a bit of an optimist to think that, believe that was going to happen. But those points deficit you could get into and at least make it at least a frame which goes down to the colours. Of course, he'll be trying to clear, but it's not an easy table. Playing the big shot here. Yesterday there was just some suggestion that they were not hugging the rail on these shots. He's got to force it. No problem there, although he didn't commit to it completely. Play it with more pace to land in behind the red.
18.
The ball is kind of heading towards that left-hand red. If he wants it to, the one on the bolt line up the left side. If he's got any ideas about getting that one into play here. Well, I think he tried it. I think he tried to clip
19.
it.
Twenty-one.
Yeah, we had a close frame which enabled Carter to lead 4-2. There weren't many others that were all that close. A lot of big breaks, one-sided frames, but here we've got a tight one to begin the evening session and a very big frame.
Played many safety shots in this match, 17 actually, which is averaging 2 a frame.
Thank you. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 21.
A bit of a head scratcher here for Carter. He can get to the top red, obviously, on the right. But what does he do with it? I mean, to play safe from it, getting back to bulk is not easy. You can double kiss that red, or you can hit the other red on the way back. So it's not an easy escape, this. Pretty good shot, isn't it? Let's be honest, it's very well thought out, that. Very, very well thought out, that shot. think both players recognise the significance of this first frame of the evening session, especially with all the drama of the introductions and the crowd getting involved. They've all gone quiet. Terrific shot. It appeared O'Sullivan's shot was not bad. Might have a look at blue or even pink here. Good cutback. It nearly overdid it. No, he's playing the blue and the red, I think, to the same pocket. Slight issue getting on the green, I think, with the brown sort of shielding it to its own pocket.
We've seen some big breaks, 2 centuries from Carter, 1 from O'Sullivan, but these close frames, they are about nerve, and of course O'Sullivan could have won that one you mentioned earlier, Mr. Green. Carter pounced on that occasion.
That's a good attempt to get onto the brown to free up the green, so very well played, well thinking all the way through the afternoon and tonight. His thought process has been excellent.
Yeah, we know what a combative character, tenacious character he is. The head-to-head coming in, of course, 17-1 O'Sullivan. Carter's played so well all week.
13.
So, had every right to be confident. Probably playing his best ever snooker. He now open a 3-frame lead. He's 14 in front, so only needs green and brown for 6-3.
16.
It's a good lot, isn't it? A couple of reds and all of these. First red was excellent. There's plenty of snooker to be played tonight, but this first frame has set a standard, because it's not been with a big break, it's been with a lot of tactical skill and some good pots.
Yes, and any question marks over Carter, I think, have been dispelled, certainly for now. He's played a good frame, and when the chance came there, he took it well. The initial red was excellent. Easy, doesn't it, put it that way, but we'll see. He's looking confident. I thought when he walked in, he was looking really good, actually, and he's made a confident start to the night. Ali Carter leads Ronnie O'Sullivan 6-3 in the final of the Masters. Just to say, the last deciding frame finish in this tournament was back in 2010. That was O'Sullivan-Selby. So it's been 14 years. At the moment, Carter's got a good lead. We've seen a lot of turnarounds in the final of this tournament down the years. But looking good. Trying to extend the lead here in frame 10.
Settle down now, please. Thank you.
A lot of those sort of shots seem to be potted off the break these days, especially at this very highest level. Not entirely sure the break-off shot is much of an advantage these days. It always used to be you'd win the toss and break in the match. You'd probably get a chance of one more break in a match than your opponent, but I'm not sure the way that the red split and the players that we see their long game being so good.
4.
The red on the black spot, just above the black, is the one he would love to get on ASAP. That's a good shot. That is a good shot. Steered that cue ball into a very small gap. All about touch.
80.
Does he go into the bunch or play the gentle cannon on the right-hand red to be on the one to the left of it below the bank, the bunch of reds? And he's an artist, isn't he, in amongst them? There's all the beautiful cannons and nudges.
25. 26.
That's also good. I mean, saying good shot quite a lot here, but that cue ball travelled a long way and finished exactly where he wanted to put it.
30. $35. 36.
13 seconds a shot in this break, despite being under a little bit of pressure to make it. It's okay. It's okay. He's over a bunch of reds, but he's on one. The one he
43.
played on as well. Already been an exhilarating night of snooker, a frame and a half. The way that Carter won frame one and O'Sullivan straight back with this. And it's looking like a frame-winning chance all the time now. Ben Williams will have to put the pink ball underneath the bunch, which puts one of the reds that might have been in play out of it.
I think the answer to what some of the audience were doing between sessions is evident. I think the local watering holes maybe have been visited, possibly.
It was a quiet moment there, and it was just a chance to express your views about O'Sullivan, I think, for a few. Fine, I suppose, not on the shot, as long as that's between shots, we don't mind.
51.
Now he's just got more work to do. The pink replacement has made him work harder. Can't think that anything will go.
58.
Doesn't really want to play the right-hand red because it's safe. It might have been a time when he ever swatted it as some kind of a cross double, but it is not the shot. He knows it. That was the sensible shot.
We've already seen a few signs here that O'Sullivan is more prepared tonight to play the sort of accepted way. This afternoon it was sort of throw everything at Ali Carter, see what happens. What happened was Carter got a 5-3 lead. Well, it's a fabulous pot.
It really was, Dave. Yes, it was on as a shot to nothing, but they're very difficult. He just glided it straight into the middle of the pocket, and now he has to play the roll-up. I think you're right. You know, he could have even tried to cut the brown in there, but he knows the significance of this point of the match. Carter's in a lot of bother now to hit one and leave it safe. Sullivan needs one pot. He's hitting hope. Intentional pockets he's gone with. He's actually put Ronnie under a little bit of pressure on the first red here. If he plays to middle, he's going to have to drop. He gives a chance back.
Well, it not only dropped, it thundered its way into the pocket, so it looks like 6-4.
Yeah, I can see it.
There's probably something on the blue, but this red. It's a bullet going into that pocket.
He didn't think about the dangers there. There were a few, had it somehow not gone in. I mean, you'd fancy him to get it, but I've seen a few like that missed. There's no counter-attack in this frame from Carter.
The frames speeds by. The last frame actually was only 18 minutes. It's actually the longest of the final, and this final is between a 48-year-old and a 44-year-old, the oldest Masters final. But here we are, they're rattling through the frames.
7.
Of course, O'Sullivan became the youngest Masters champion in 1995. He'd be the oldest tonight, emulating what he did at the UK Championship. The good news for Stephen Hendry is he can't turn the clock back and become the youngest world champion. Stephen has that record for now.
10.
Yeah, although Stephen was getting a little bit twitchy at the crucible, wasn't he, when CGRE was knocking everything in, because he could have beaten his record.
Well, he looks more focused in terms of playing the sort of conventional way tonight. Still going to attack, of course, but other times being a little bit more sensible maybe, and makes him dangerous.
Фінальна стадія турніра. Перший півсесії закінчено з рахунком 5-3.
He's dangerous however he plays, frankly.
Користь Алі Картера.
Well, I think the slight intimidation factor seems to have worked up until now. The way that he's just swapping opponents aside, but clearly he saw that Carter was not going to be intimidated into anything. It's a terrific session already, these two frames.
O'Sullivan has fired back after losing that close opening frame of the night. His family are here, his children, his mother. Big night, and O'Sullivan reduces the gap to 6-4.
В матчі грається 19 фреймів. Початок 9-го фрейму. Ronnie O'Sullivan забуває червоний шар.
Yeah, players are staying in the arena, but let's have a little closer look at the atmosphere and the vibe of what's going on. We're 2 frames into the first half of the sessions. You can see there the arena opens up. We're none other than the place where the players walk in. It really is a beautiful arena. It gives people a chance to stretch their legs, gives me a chance to catch my breath, and you guys at home. It's really hotting up now, obviously, as you can see. And referee quickly setting them up, so I'm going to get a nice seat up the top row there and join the crowd for this one.
Так, Ronnie набирає 54 очка. В 9-му фреймі. Вихід на розовий. Забиває у ближню ліву лозу. Вихід на червоний.
Thanks for joining us. It's another frame on the way. I'm going to make myself scarce. I've spotted a nice seat up in the gods there, up in the top row. I'm going to go and join the crowd and enjoy this next frame. What's going to happen next, we're about to find out.
Yeah, it's a great atmosphere down there. Of course, Alan, 30 years ago, won at the Wembley Conference Centre, which was a unique venue. It got knocked down, couldn't be helped that it was no longer there. Went to the Wembley Arena, never quite the same there, but this Ali Pali really has brought the atmosphere. So Sullivan in the end breezed through that last frame. And here we are in frame 11 of a possible 19. 6-4 it is to Ali Carter. £250,000 up for grabs, and of course the Paul Hunter Trophy. It's now 20 years since Paul won the last of his 3 Masters titles. They were all from behind. They were all in deciders, and he helped to really keep the interest in snooker going. It wasn't the best time for the sport off table, but on table, the likes of him and Ronnie and Higgins and all the others, Williams, absolutely fantastic. He's quite right that he's remembered here every year at the Masters.
Good little shot that. You can always double kiss that sort of red in playing thin from it. That's a good safety shot. He's covered both reds on the left side, although they wouldn't have been easy anyhow from where the cue balls landed. Interesting start to the frame, isn't it? One of the few cautious exchanges of safety early in a frame we've seen. It was certainly the red to take him back to vault, but there was always the risk of leaving something on. If he got in behind the green, it would have been a devilishly hard shot to escape from. And that top red goes, but my word, Carter looks in a spot of trouble now. You can't think of a safety shot. Like I say, the two reds on the right, the top one is potable, but well, it's not nice. wonder if Ronnie's got the chance to get in behind the yellow from the red on the right. Coming in at an angle just to miss the brown. It could take the cue ball into an awkward spot here. He's gone towards the green, which it's hard to think he could have got the snooker, but it's keeping things tight.
So having played hardly any safety all afternoon, he has forced an error from a good safety shot, and he's got himself some sort of chance here.
Yeah, and it's not an easy table, but with 5 or 6 reds available to him at this stage.
6.
Get himself a head start in the frame.
7.
Well, it's his 4th match of the tournament. It's his first opponent he's met, though, who's really taken the game to him in a big way. The others didn't produce their best snooker against him.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, Dave, I think this tournament has been quite similar to what we saw in the UK Championship. He was getting through the early rounds without playing very well, O'Sullivan. In the final,
13.
it was obvious that Ding Junhui was playing as well.
14.
A lot of people thought he could win that final. Ronnie raised his game and beat him. This is it's not dissimilar the way this week has panned out.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there are some players who will tell you, you know, he gets too much media attention. Well, the answer to that is stop him winning these tournaments.
19.
You know, the UK Championship was a time where, as you say, could have lost along the way, but he didn't.
20.
And in the end, he played superbly in that final to pull away against Ding. And, of course, the same could happen here. Another burst of inspiration in about half an hour. You know, he could be in front.
Six. 27.
Well, I think something goes to the left corner. Maybe the red above the black. It's the only one I can think of that might pop directly. There you see it.
33.
It will go. It's not a full pocket, but pops it into the thick side of the pocket. It'll be all right.
34.
Now, though, where are the shots coming from? I think a red to the same pocket as the pink. You can see it sticking out there. If nothing else, he'll develop other reds playing this shot.
40. 41.
Just lost the cue ball for once. Sort of shot where I don't think it's in off in the left corner, but the cue ball's heading in that direction. I think it would have been had he potted it.
41.
It's a useful break, though. Didn't seem much, and he'd be annoyed how it ended, but it's still a handy lead where these balls are.
down, please. Thank you.
A few members of the audience just getting a bit too involved, maybe. Although let's see where we are if it's close later on. The excitement levels go up. It's been a fantastic week. Tickets went on general sale this morning for next year, already selling really well. Oh, what a pass from the captain. He's been so positive as well. Talk about O'Sullivan taking his shots, and Ali Carter has done the same. But it's a tough table, this.
Good pot though, as you say. Little red, I think, we just thread through there, or he certainly believes it. Has he got a shot to play?
7.
Red and get the black into play. All of a sudden, it's not quite such a tough table anymore. Played through the
8.
gap, but it's already a very interesting frame. A long tactical battle, a good 40 from O'Sullivan. And you think, well, how can you say that with all those big breaks? But it was a good break. Tough break. This will be equally as tough.
He's trying to right what in his own mind was a wrong, which was him losing the final on his last appearance here 4 years ago to Stuart
14.
Bingham. Bingham played really well at the end. Ali Carter felt he should have won from 7-5 up. He's been like a coiled spring ever since, trying to get
15.
back here.
That's not worked out. He's unlucky there. He tried to play a pretty enterprising
21.
shot to get things opened up, but he didn't succeed in doing so. Not to play for in this frame, pretty much
Ali Carter.
riding
21.
on it. Who wins it? All these shots are a little bit different, aren't they? Now that O'Sullivan is playing, he's making every shot count. There was another fine safety. Carter looking to turn the compliment here. Bit pacey, this one. Cue ball is racing back. Beautiful striking. Got that cue ball to veer across the table. It's red. He could play on the red directly above the black, which is opening things up, but he looked at another option as well. Yeah, played on the red by the black, which is more his sort of shot to just free things.
7. Eight.
Yes, you'll need one of those two awkward reds, certainly the two reds which are somewhat tied up. 35 in it.
15.
Red black here means Carter can still tie the frame. So he will need a piece of these two. wanted. He's probably got a free shot at this red up the table here with this lead. And also a red at the other end of the table. That would be more difficult for Carter to get a black from it. Taking it to the middle at a very acute angle is the other option. Oh, what a shot. There's been nothing fancy in this frame. Nothing too aggressive. This is what O'Sullivan needs to do. I think he recognise that.
Well, I think what we're seeing is how much he wants to win deep down, despite anything on the outside he may have said.
32.
You get into this session, the last session of the tournament, with the trophy up for grabs, suddenly things change. And it's all about focus. And that's what he's doing. He's played some good safety to set up the chances. He's striking the ball so well.
38.
He's under a bit of pressure, 6-3 down. Carter confident, has responded because he's won the next two. So just one in the Masters final. Ali Carter's lead has been reduced here to 6-5 with one more.
Brain. Ali Carter to break.
So it's 6-5 to Ali Carter. It was 6-3. Ronnie O'Sullivan has just changed his approach and it's working. He's won the last two very efficient frames from the record-holding 7-times champion. Of course, if he were to win, he'd go to the Crucible with a chance to complete the seasonal Triple Crown, the three major events, UK Masters and World Championship. That's only been done by 3 players in the same season, Davis, Hendry and Mark Williams.
Well, I know we always talk about big frames. This feels like one of them now.
There's James Maddison, footballer. I was going to say a rather quieter affair than he's used to, but of course it gets rather rowdy at times. It's just sporadic. Snooker's not a team game, of course. You're out on your own.
Six.
Paddy the Baddie, the UFC fighter, a big friend of O'Sullivan's.
14.
Again, this is not a physical combat sport, snooker, but my word, it's tough mentally.
$21. 22.
The reds are not great here. He might have to play into these. Don't know if he's left anything to the right middle. It seems not.
29.
Desperately looking for something to keep this break going. Can only see, because those two are tied up, that he's got a red up into the yellow pocket. Not easy, this. Running off the, if you like, the wrong jaw. It was always very adjacent. It's one of those where you would just stay down on it because it might have just wriggled.
Well, in amongst that sea of faces, O'Sullivan's children, Lily and Ronnie Jr. Ronnie Jr. just had a massive smile on his face there, watching that red go in. Not so much Ali Carter.
37.
He's been hit by a bit of a burst here, hasn't he, in these last 2.5 frames. It's been pretty irresistible stuff from O'Sullivan, has to be said.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, it's what happened in the UK final. It happened in the Shanghai Masters, actually, several times along the way in that tournament. He just found these sort of 2 or 3 frames of inspiration when he needed them.
45. 46.
Chance to level up then and really set up a thrilling conclusion to this Masters final. And even if it does go the distance, it's not going to be a midnight finish, is it? The speed these two are rattling through these frames. Average frame time now, 12 minutes.
54.
All these sports people coming along, watching the all-time great sportsmen here, still going strong at the highest level, the top level. 30 years after he made his debut at the Masters. 29 years since he first won it.
60.
And responding here in adversity, which is what great champions in any sport do.
61.
Yeah, could go down the table happily knowing that, that red is there. That was a bit straight on the green. Would like to a bit of an angle to get close to the red, which will be, with the colour, enough.
64.
I think that's the thing. He was a little disappointed
64.
to be quite straight on the green, so that on the red he had to force it. It wasn't the shot he particularly wanted.
Can he get through to this red? There's enough on here, still 75 on. You talk about big moments, potentially.
I think it goes easily. I think he can clearly get to enough of that red to pot it. He played it with side as if he didn't believe it, and he hit it thin, so I think he made a mistake there. He went comfortably. Whether you pot it or not, he didn't need to put side on to make it gettable. He could already get to it.
Yeah, you're conjuring up images of a clearance from the gods there, aren't you? But in fact, the first red doesn't go in, and O'Sullivan is 2 pots away from 6 each.
If he looks from behind the line, he sees it goes. If the red goes in, that clearance that you mentioned was really on, actually. He just fell at the first hurdle.
Well, the bottom line is Ronnie O'Sullivan has got his act together this evening, and that makes him, of course, difficult to stop. It's going to be up to Ali Carter if he gets chances in the remainder of the evening to take them, as he has done all week. He's played superbly this week, but we're now into most intense pressure of the week as we head into the final mini session. Ronnie O'Sullivan has played in 14 of these Masters finals. He's won 7 so far. Ali Carter, of course, looking for his first.
15.
So can he find a response when they return is the question. Because O'Sullivan has got the bit firmly between his teeth here now.
Yeah, the interval of 15 or so minutes won't harm Ali Carter. He's very much in this match. Yes, he was leading 6-3 and looking good, but he probably in his back of his mind knew there could be a backlash from O'Sullivan. Now, he shared
19.
12 frames in a brilliant final, and he's very much in there, Carter, and
20.
it might just be handy to have a few minutes to think about this. He's playing well enough, but he's had the pressure applied to him.
Yeah, this is where the mental work he's done, which has, I think, got him through that Judd Trump match, that quarter-final, definitely. That's where it's all been for, moments like this, when you put under it. Put it this way, if a week ago you'd said to him before the event began, Ali, you're going to be 6 each in the final of the Masters, he'd have taken that all day long, regardless of how he got there, who he's playing, or the way the match has developed. He can still win the tournament, of course he can. He's one problem, is this man at the table.
Перша півсесія закінчена з рахунком 5-3.
28.
На користь Алі Картера. Так, Ронні О'Саліван 3-й в рейтингу, Алі Картер 11-й.
33.
Також на цьому турнірі грав Джет Трам, Марк Селбі, Дін Джин Ху, Ніл Робертсон, Керрі Вілсон,
38.
Марк Джей Вильямс. Так, в матче играется 19 фреймів. Початок 9 фрейму. Ронnie Сальван забуває червоний шар в ліву ближню лозу.
47.
Вихід на чорний шар.
So Ali Carter made the running this afternoon. He won the first frame tonight, a close affair.
53.
But since then, Ronnie O'Sullivan has been completely dominant. He's taken 3 on the spin, and as the players head off for the last interval of this Masters final, they cannot be split. What a finish we've got coming up for you here at Alexandra Palace this evening. Ronnie O'Sullivan and Ali Carter all square at 6 frames all.
В 9 фреймі. Вихід на розовий.
You won't want to go anywhere with this one. It is the 2024 Masters final. Well, in 2023, there was another member of the class.
For 7 more, Ronnie O'Sullivan was 6-3 down.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
It's 6 all, but these matches, they have their rhythms. It can turn again. O'Sullivan's gone favourite, obviously, now, but as I say, there's plenty of snooker left to be played tonight. Bearing in mind, a lot of people thought he wouldn't come to be anywhere. That's not happened. Ali Carter's played well all week, he's played well all day. Can he produce the goods now when it really matters?
Так, початок 10 фрейму.
Interesting break-off, wasn't it? Because the red to the right came straight back into where it come from. Packer almost undisturbed. There's footage in there of, I think, a match in Pot Black many years ago where Doug Mountjoy broke off, and the balls went right back into the shape of the triangle. I don't think I've ever seen that since. Not a good safety shot this time. Keyball has travelled a bit. Has he left that red closer to the left pocket? It's not hanging over the pocket. I think he has. Again, he didn't like it last time, and that one goes as well. I don't think he's seeing these. He can get to it. He can pop this. And he had one not dissimilar, and guys in the studio were suggesting that he kind of didn't feel comfortable on it, but that will pop. Not saying it was an easy shot, even if he could get to it.
Yeah, that one shot for O'Sullivan just underlines his different approach tonight. It was all guns blazing this afternoon, trying to pot anything, but now it's the proper stuff, and that obviously is trouble for the men at the table. Played well this afternoon, Carter, no two ways about it. He was getting quite a few openings sort of handed to him, though.
Well, he can see reds, but can he see an edge of a red to escape back to bulk? It doesn't appear that he can. It's one of those awkward safety shots in your face where you can see the middle of any cluster, but not anything else. it's, do you know, it was nearly a brilliant shot. That red has gone down cuttable, I think. If Ronnie can't cut this in, it was a superb shot from Carter. Yeah, I think he's... I think that was an underrated shot that didn't get any real recognition. He knew there was a chance Reds might follow the cue ball down there.
It's one of those, just to the naked eye, it kind of looked reckless, but it was all about the cue ball, wasn't it? Follow where the white finishes.
This is really tough. Oh, great shot. I mean, you think back to that Stephen Hendry shot in that final against Mark Williams, the final black. This was tougher. Hendry's was from across the table a bit more. But in the end, of course, Mark Williams won that match in the final black.
So he is in. Let's see how he's feeling now. In this sort of position this afternoon, you'd have asked him to make a big break. Initial red, though, was superb. The intervals come along, I guess, at the right time for him. After losing 3 on the spin, just a chance to collect his thoughts. Gee himself up for second half. Pop that too cleanly, so now have to, well, play a good recovery shot. Heard a little sigh when he realised he wasn't on anything nicely.
A fantastic shot, you know. I know it only just crept in, but he really did not panic on that shot.
14.
He put everything into it. He thought, well, if I miss it, then I'm in trouble, but best not miss it. Really brilliant shot that was.
15.
And there's a lot of bravery in the world. Snooker's not part of it, but that's the nearest thing I can think of.
I think that's what's been impressive about this final. They've both really gone for it. Obviously, you have to play safe at times, but you know, when chances have been there, and they haven't always been easy, the players have been trying to get in, trying to make something happen. And Ali Carter, he's got that little bounce back now, hasn't he? That just might walk about a little bit. Just half an hour.
23.
Make no mistake, he is a very, very tough character, and he needs to show that toughness now in the heat of battle.
Yeah, I think right now, Dave, this is a very important visit, isn't it? No, this isn't the decider. There's plenty of frames that could easily be played yet, but the
30.
significance of restoring his lead, getting his lead back, on the back of an onslaught, really, from O'Sullivan in 3 frames for the mid-session.
31.
Yeah, the question was asked of Ronnie O'Sullivan when he went 6-3 down. Okay, how are you going to respond? Are you going to respond? He did. He played 3 excellent frames. So then the question's asked of Carter. Okay, he's come back at you. What have you got in your locker? Well, we might find out here.
$36. 37. $44. 45.
52. Yes, 53.
And I think the cue across the right might give him more than one option. Clearly the red out on his own on the left is one he could end up on, but it could be that there's another red. The bottom red on the right could also be possible from that side of the table. Starting to go that other red to the middle as he closes in on the winning line.
60.
He's going to need a couple more reds here. So which way does he go? Red, blue, and the one up the table? Or, like I say, there might be one other possibility in that cluster of 5. He doesn't really want to have to move reds. And as you can see, he's absolutely straight on that one. Cuts down his options a little bit. That's the one speaking about. When he put the cue where he was queuing, he would be fine. 2 shots time, of course.
$61.
This is the shot I thought he might play last time. Frame is never over until there's too many in it against O'Sullivan. I think he's more than happy with that. That bounce around the table, he's on it.
68.
Well, the first red was sensational, actually, to the middle. There was so much pressure on it. He needs this red now, and he looks like he's back in front. Oh, it wriggles in. I'm not sure. He was sure, but it dropped.
Yeah, the red and also that black. I really do think that was such a good shot. It was a horrid cut back into a blind pocket, leaving everything. And it just made it crept in. It might turn out to be a very important ball.
76.
And he missed it. These could be O'Sullivan's.
Well, what's been impressive is that he's got on the front foot again after everything that was thrown at him. I think the interval obviously did help, just stopped the O'Sullivan Express train. Question now, can he make another century? If he does, that'll be a record.
83.
For 1 year at the Masters, it'll be his 9th. At the moment, he's tied on 8 with O'Sullivan, who's done that twice. It just shows how well he's played in this tournament. Of course, you only played 4 matches. Made 3 on the spin last night. That was also a first at the Masters. But most people would agree he's played the best snooker of the tournament. It's just a question of whether he can now win the tournament. If he carries on like this, he will do.
92.
So this is the ball for a 9th century, a new record at the Masters. What a response from Ali Carter. Ronnie O'Sullivan hit back hard from 6-3 down, but now the captain stepping it up himself.
Yeah, I don't think you would always associate him with a string of centuries, as you pointed out. That's the record. Terrific player that he is. He really has hit a purple patch this week.
Well, it's turning into one of the great finals. So much interest, so much good snooker.
115.
Ali Carter has won 5 ranking events, but this tonight, worried to win, considering where we are and who he's playing, would surely be his greatest achievement. Not least because of how well he would have played to win it. The thing about sport, if you think you know the script, think again, because there isn't one. The tide had turned in O'Sullivan's favour. It can turn back.
127.
Ali Carter got the chance. He made full use of it. Break ends at 127. A record 9th century in this year's Masters for Ali Carter, who goes back in front. 7-6. He needs 3 more to become champion.
To break. Can I please remind you that when the players are down on the shot, could you not shout out, please? Thank you.
Red's chasing the cue ball down the table. The cue ball's generally quite well placed. Now, can he get through to the pot that's in the middle? Is there enough of the red available? If he can, because it's a natural to get down towards the black. I reckon O'Sullivan can pot this. Goodness, what a shot. But he did kind of half compromise pot for position. He didn't really play in the black. I don't think he overly fancied the red. But nothing will come of it.
Ali Carter 1.
Goodness me, what's that shot? Has he got there? He may have done. It was awfully risky, and the red to middle is another factor which he has covered both, but for a while it looked in the balance.
Right, can you please settle down now, please? Quieten it down.
For goodness,
You
not
don't
even.
want to have to leave the arena, not at this stage.
It's not even Ronnie's shot.
Thank
and
you.
They're shouting, "Go on, Ronnie!" A lot of these tickets, I think, were probably purchased about a year ago, weren't they? The tickets were available as they are now for next year, 12 months back. They've had the hot ticket for a long time. And so they're very sought after. You wouldn't really want to see anyone ignominiously thrown out.
No, and that's one way to sort of stop it, is if someone is made an example of. So the best thing is to just heed Ben Williams's words there and just pipe down a little.
These sort of safety shots with Reds at the other end, it's all about finding this black cushion, the bottom cushion, time after time. At some point, one of these two probably end up playing a red to middle, but yeah, the degree of difficulty and the mountain riding on the shot. I think he's considering potting one here, you know. They're all horribly difficult from this position, though. These trickling reds to middle pocket, leaving the world if you do miss. He said all week that he's going to get down and play the shot because there's no point in hanging around, but there are times when you really do need to think over a shot. I think he's playing the red to middle that's just below the pink. This is a massive shot. He needs some help here. He needs something to cover something else, but he hasn't got it. This is the shot he'd like to play, the red, straightish red, because it brings the black into play, but now he's back to the other one. Well, he couldn't see any other shot but to go for it, and the value was clear. If it goes in, they're his.
Six.
Sullivan's taking a bit of extra care in the early stages of this break.
Seven.
It's one of those frames already, because where the reds are, there's so many sort of options. Just working out who he feels is the best plan and who's going to argue with him. Record break builder, of course.
Ten. $11. $18.
He's never been quite in position in this break, but now he's on this ready, getting close to doing so. It really is a golden chance.
$19.
Once again, not the the right side of the blue, but right in the brown spot that will be next.
$24. 25. 28. 29. 36.
It's been a very considered break, this one. He's been a little bit slower with his thought process and shot selection than we'd usually see.
$42.
End of break, and as he does something that he probably shouldn't try, even double or something. Looks like he's going up the table. He's furious.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 42.
It was a handy break, you know. There's no getting away from it, and that's not a
Матчу,
bad break
в якому
for it to end.
зіграють Алі Картер і Ронні О'Саліван.
Yeah,
Грається
like
друга
this
півсесія.
afternoon he did play the safety.
Фінальна стадія турніру. Перша півсесія закінчена з
Got the
рахунком
right shot at the
5-3.
end. Keep the pressure on Carter.
На користь
He knows that there's no time for any of that.
Алі Картера.
He's gonna, whatever happens, he's going to have to leave it all on the table. I think
Так, Ронні О'Саліван третій в рейтингу, Алі Картер 11-й. Також на цьому турнірі грав Джет Трам, Марк Селбі, Дін Джин Ху, Ніл Робертсон, Керрі Вілсон,
Play a big Yahoo into the reds, but I think the two cushion glance on the single red.
Марк Джей
Very tough
Вільямс.
shot.
Так, в матчі грається з 19 фреймів. Початок 9-го фрейму. Ронні О'Саліван забуває червоний шар в ліву ближню лузу. Вихід на чорний шар.
A little bit unlucky there. Played the thin contact. He hit just a fraction too much of it. Crowd are getting a bit too much now. I think, making
В 9-му
he's
фреймі
not helping people. And,
вихід на розовий.
I don't think he's enjoying them.
Забуває у ближню ліву лузу. Вихід на червоний.
Well, like you say, it doesn't help O'Sullivan either. I'm not saying that's the reason he missed that, but players do need to be able to focus.
Yeah, if it goes all the way, I have to say there might be one or two less in here at the end than
І Ронні виграє 9-й фрейм і
I'm sure everyone's going to see
рахунок
the
стає
night
5-4 на користь
a little bit
Алі
too
Картера.
much.
Так, початок 10-го фрейму.
I have a feeling that the red that Ronnie missed might not have been hanging over the middle. It might have been a bit of a narrow pot from where he was. there, but has he got to recover? I tell you, if O'Sullivan can get to this red, there's a lot on it. It's not simple. He can, I think, get to the potting angle. Played into the 4 reds, overdid it.
3.
He hasn't put this frame away, has he, with 2 or 3 chances? These are the ones that sometimes can creep up on you and you can lose them. Not saying he will, but he hasn't won it yet. Although that might go a long way to making him do so. Going to take another scoring visit to get this frame won.
11.
He'll recognise the signs that these are the ones that opponent can dish up on you in their first real chance. How that could happen.
O'Sullivan.
Yeah,
11.
there's always 2 things you need to look at. One, obviously, the score, which favours O'Sullivan, but then it's where the balls are, and they're kind of all on. 52 in it, still a possible 67 on.
He's going to have to play this. It's thin. It's keyboard's not in any control. Tough shot, right?
So it's taken some winning, but 2 balls needed. Pots the pink, Carter can tie. 59, the difference 59 on, so another red needed for 7 each.
Well, that's, again, I'm not sure if he's on the bottom red here. It's tight. Maybe with a trace of left-hand side, he could make that into a pot. At the moment, it's tie. He's in a very strong position in the frame, obviously, with the fact that he only tie. Not a very O'Sullivan-like frame, this, if he wants to win it, which he seems he will. He's taken about 5 scoring visits to get the job done.
Yeah, so as it stands, Carter could tie 4 reds, 4 blacks in the colours.
It was the fluke that he didn't really want, given that he couldn't get onto a colour. Though we might see this swerve go in, and that will be end of frame. Goodness me. That's brought the frame back to life. That has changed everything. If you can get onto a high value colour, the red over the pocket, which is not simple, then all of a sudden you could steal this frame, you know. Even if you departed the red and followed through, that would have been absolutely fine. Tough shot that. He couldn't play the plant in case both reds went in, which would have been no good to him at all.
Well, the chance was there. It was a tough pink, of course. So now he needs a snooker, but he's left the red on. This has been quite comfortably the longest frame of the match. It's taken some winning. O'Sullivan will be very relieved, I think.
Certainly, because it was almost like the frame had been brought back to life. Just a difficult shot. You know, when you've got a ball right over the pocket,
7.
You just can't seem to get position very easily on it. There's no obvious control, and the pink was tough.
8.
Well, what it means is it's now effectively best of 5 for the title, 7 each. One of those frames does nothing for the nerves. And that includes people watching, even on the players.
15.
It's been a great week here, it really has, and we've ended up with a thrilling final.
Eighteen. 20. 23.
Sullivan is focused tonight. He's been zoned in. We've seen this frame when things went wrong,
27.
how annoyed he was. He really wants this, and of course Ali Carter definitely does. So every passage of play now is going to be vital in the overall picture. This visit just steadies the nerves a little bit, because this frame was in the balance when he fell to swerve to pop the red over the pocket, but Carter missed the pink. O'Sullivan delighted to have the chance to step in and just kill it off, which is what he's done. So we're all square again in a pulsating Masters final here in London, 7 each. And this was late on, of course, in the frame.
So he tightened up the break-off shot, and a lot of players seem unable to do that these days. Pretty big target to hit, and he managed to do so. That's a mistake, but the bunch, I mean, they're so tightly bunched there. Red angle on the colour. None of it's easy. Can't reach it either.
Another attacking defensive shot, getting the Reds into play. Been a feature of this match, really. Every frame seems to have been open and flowing. The last one took some winning, yes, but overall they've both been really going for it. Yeah, it's another wonderful pot.
Yeah, he's making that cue ball really slow down. The spin is still on there. The timing on those long pots for O'Sullivan, especially today, have been quite something. Maximum result for minimum sort of speed and pace. The red slides through the middle of the others. That plant is not on, so it's not an option right now.
No.
As you can see, the black clearly is available.
He's not been in front since he won the first frame of the day.
16. 17.
Purposely played on that
24.
top red. It's only just got enough room to pot it. Onto the black again.
25.
The two reds on the right are going to be a bit of a headache, I think, in this break. I can't see him moving them at any time soon.
$33.
On the left of the table, there's a couple of options there. He looked along the line, and that's seemingly perfectly played. I mean, you couldn't have put it better with your hand. Look at that. He can run through on the black. Absolutely position A.
38.
Less pleased with that one, though.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 45.
Well, that's the first one. He has put in a quick one. I'm not sure what it was. It was a bit of a jab or something that was not part of the O'Sullivan machine. Didn't hit it well. He knew straight away.
Well, they're all big moments, aren't they, from here on in? But this feels like one. O'Sullivan, as I say, was looking to go in front for the first time since he won the first frame. It's faltered. It's up to Carter now to step in. He played that aggressive safety to open them. That could have been his last shot, but this is a chance.
Yeah, it is. The reds are awkward. Those three sets of two reds all sort of right next to each other and not potable anywhere. making things a ticklish problem. I don't think they're a plant. I mean, we saw it a few times. I'd be surprised. Ronnie didn't have any interest in trying to make them into a plant. It's a little tricky, this table. Maybe you could move the two reds here. I think he tried to. I don't see what else he could have played.
11.
Sure, he tried to hit the left-hand red. He was a mile away from it. Whatever he did play, he didn't get right at all.
Carter, 11.
It looks a bit of a venturous shot, didn't it? To pop the red and take the cue ball wide and then inside the line of the pink. Goodness, all those things. It all went wrong, everything.
Well, there's still the issue, I guess, of those two reds, but this is another chance immediately for Carter, and suddenly that composure that we saw earlier from O'Sullivan has just slightly gone walkabout.
Yeah, you're right, but there are fewer problems with this visit than the previous. On his last shot, I mean, he knows he's still thinking about it. It was a bit like one or two of the shots we saw this afternoon where he just took slightly too much of a risk, even for him.
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to make up for the previous visit when that went wrong. To overcompensate almost.
No. Sixteen. Seventeen.
Well, the problem has not really been solved, has it? Those two reds, it's been like that since the very start of the frame. They've not moved. I didn't think they would, but they're going to be moved soon. And Carter would love to bring them into play. He's tried once and he got nowhere near. And the other red is tied up as well. On his own. Doesn't go to either left or right corner. This is straight. He's got to power this in. It's a great effort. It's a brilliant effort. So unfortunate, and especially given that the left red doesn't go past the pink. It was a great shot, unrewarded.
Well, as ever, we're just talking fractions there between getting on it and not. It's the latter, I'm afraid, for Carter.
It's a swerve, bordering on a masse, I think, around that first red. Valid options here. He's back to this shot. This is not nice if you're trying to pot this. Got to really get the bite on the ball, get things moving. I don't think it's nice. Maybe in an exhibition you might try this. I wonder, could he consider the left-hand red up into the yellow pocket? The only thing I can think of he could conceivably play if it's a pot. Can't see another shot. Oh, what a shot. What a shot that is. Slightly annoyed that he's not in behind the pink perfectly. I mean, he's just forgot about, he's just ignored the consequences there because he's leaving the red, he's leaving the frame. And he took a long time on it. It was worth waiting for.
Yeah, tremendous guts. He's always leaving the red on to right corner, so he absolutely had to get it. Oh, but he's not got the pink. Too thin.
This is it, you see. It's a brilliant red, but the cue ball just drifted a little bit too far. Bit surprised it never reached. Agonizingly, the cue ball has just gone far enough, I think. He was worried that he would snooker himself, but he hasn't. He does need a little bit more, up to and including the green from here.
Nine.
It shouldn't be a problem, but you know, this is a very tense passage of play.
Yeah, it's certainly not all been plain sailing,
16.
but he does pot these next two balls. He'll have won 5 of the last 6 frames.
18.
And he'll be ahead for the first time since he led 1-0.
Так, зараз буде огляд матчу, в якому зіграє Алі Картер і Ронні О'Саліван. І грається друга півсесія. Фінальна стадія турніра. Перша півсесія закінчила з рахунок 5-3. Користь Алі Картер.
But as it is, it's Ronnie O'Sullivan who hits the front.
Так, Ронні О'Саліван третій рейтингу, Алі Картер 11-й. Також на цьому турнірі грав Джет Трам, Марк Селбі, Дін Джин Ху, Ніл Робертсон,
Now, of course, the Australian Open continues
Terry Wilson.
to 1 o'clock CT, so midnight. This will be done by then. It's been a close match, but
Марк Джей
a
Вільямс.
quick one.
Так, в матчі грається з 19 фреймів. Початок 9-го фрейму.
16th frame.
Ронні О'Саліван забуває червоний шар.
So for only the second time today, Ali Carter trails 8-7.
Вихід на чорний шар. 0,54 очка.
The crowd
В
living every
9-му
moment of
фреймі.
this.
Вихід на розовий. Забиває у ближню ліву лозу. Вихід на червоний.
No 50 break in the last 2 frames from either player, which there's been some good contributions, but that's just the way snooker goes. The closer to the winning line, sometimes
І Ронні виграє
the
9-й фрейм
really
і
big breaks can dry
рахунок
out.
стає 5-4 на користь
Cranks up.
Алі Картера. Так, початок 10-го фрейму.
Those that O'Sullivan was faced with, which he eventually did win. To go 2 down with 3 to play would be a tough ask, given he did lead 5-3, as we were saying. Would need a big turnaround again. No, double kiss just avoided. I was worried about it.
Good pot, no reward.
Not much you can do with this, really. Even the roll up behind green, the bunch is so tight, that's not going to do a lot. So he's not going to play the roll up for that reason, I'd say.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Pressure's just starting to get to both of these two. It seems that was not easy, but he was knocking those in earlier. He hit that well, not this one, I'm afraid, but O'Sullivan's shot, he got the cue ball to zip back. He really took the cue ball out of that little left corner of the table with that red in O'Sullivan. Will go. Again, it's typical of Sullivan. He gets that cue ball into a great area where you've got a choice of, well, in this case, about 4 or 5 reds.
So the balance of power has definitely shifted towards him. And I was just thinking, you know, we've seen the blood, sweat and tears you need to win one of these titles. Ali Carter's put everything into this. At the moment, he's just struggling a bit. Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's won 7 Worlds, 8 UKs, and he's looking to win an 8th Masters. Incredible.
14.
Just the mental effort needed, never mind the skill. The composure, the temperament needed. Remarkable.
$15. $22. 23.
Well, that was worth playing because of the reds that was below the bunch. They were always there for him. It was hard to think he wouldn't be on something. They've all spread delightfully. This is the point where he can really put this match to bed, because clearly, until he gets to 10 frames, he won't have done that. But with Dale up to himself and Ali Carter, 5-3 down, he would have been thrilled to be in this position.
38.
With a chance to go 9-7 up. It's a big turnaround.
Well, he sort of chanced his arm this afternoon, didn't he? Wanted to see, I think, how Carter would respond. And he responded really well. He led 5-3 on the first tonight, but O'Sullivan has been zoned in this evening, playing the way that you need to play to win these big tournaments. The mix of certainly attack, but also good safety as well. Pretty formidable. Competitive juice is really flowing. Maybe at times this week they haven't been, but then at times this week he wasn't really put under it. He has been today. He's had to produce it, and he is doing.
Now, as he pushed that red in front of the one he wants to play, he's looking closely at it. It's a tight one, isn't it? You might think that the other red is the option. It's very close. Looking from that angle, he might be lured into playing it behind the pocket.
$47.
Once again, he's just finished in between about 3 reds. The one that's straight is into the left corner, maybe the one. This one, as a left-handed shot, might Tempt him as well, yeah, this is it. Back to the same pocket. He's chiseling out another frame here without quite the same fluency that he showed earlier, but he's still potting the balls.
55.
Just great graft, isn't it, right now, as you say, chiseling it out. Getting
56.
The points on the board, moving closer to a 9-7 lead, and closer to an 8th Masters title.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you can say about this week where he's been in and out, he's not enjoyed it. He's not said good things about the venue. He hasn't been seemingly quite as disciplined, but it's safe to say that, on the balance of the play tonight, he's rolled his sleeves up, hasn't he, against an opponent in brilliant form.
Yeah, and credit to Carter for pushing him. Of course, it's not over yet.
67.
But Sullivan, when the question was asked today, found the answers, or he has done it to now anyway.
68.
Well, there's the answer. He refused that red because he wasn't sure it went, but now he found out that it flew in. I don't think Carter will give up. It's not in his nature. Someone thinks he's already won, but there's another frame still to be collected, I think. He'll raise the roof if he does win, I think.
And we've seen here how much he wants to win. And make no mistake, if he wanted to walk away from snooker, if he didn't like snooker, he could have done. But several times, he's still here. He's still here 30 years on,
81.
entertaining everybody. And more importantly than that,
82.
still winning. Just didn't quite get the red out. Could still pot it, maybe.
89.
Try and make a century. Not quite, but 89. Real hard work kind of break that. He rolled up his sleeves, got it done, and Ronnie O'Sullivan is one away now from the title. He leads Ali Carter 9-7. Carter with it all to do.
Thank you. Settle down now, please. 17th frame. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, the crowd enjoying themselves, but again, players need a bit of hush to concentrate. O'Sullivan looking for one more frame. Ali Carter trying to pile pressure on, make this closer.
It does take me back a little bit to the days at the Wembley Conference Centre when the house of Jimmy White, and especially Alex Higgins, was playing. The crowd's more vocal then. There's been a few shouts tonight that have not been all that welcome, but as I say, in the past we've seen all sorts happening in this London Masters, wherever it's been played. Alex Higgins beat Steve Davis at the Conference Centre. There was a crowd invasion. There was people out there all around the table when Higgins celebrated the win. It wasn't the final either. It was just all the early rounds.
Cue ball's found its way back to bulk. Yeah, there's certain players in any sport, and snooker's no different. They just attract adoration. Of course, Jimmy White did, Alex Higgins. Ronnie O'Sullivan is in that lineage.
It's not hard to see why, is it? The thrilling nature of the way they go about their business, I think.
Absolutely. I think, and a lot of people here will play snooker maybe socially, but you'd like to see people do something that you know you can't do. If you live to be 300, you couldn't play the way that those guys do.
Yeah, he played it with a trace of left, of centre striking, just to sort of take it round the angles as you do, but it reacted quite a lot, and as you saw, no contact was made. Carter probably has to attack a few here now from this position. Well, has O'Sullivan broken him? That's the question. You know, he's played brilliantly all week, and I think he's played really well today, but O'Sullivan might have just made a few cracks appear. This is a swerve like earlier. This time he gets it right. No colour. So no real damage done. He nominates green.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
I would be surprised if Carter had lost his fight or his edge, because he really has never been his style. It's like so much he can do at this game. Is there another rally in him? Has he got more? Right now, the answer may not be in the positive.
No, he's gone from making the running in the final to playing catch-up, and of course, the point of no return really has left an opener here in this bear pit atmosphere at the Alexandra Palace. Number 17 on the personal head-to-head to O'Sullivan coming in. And there's been some close matches in there, but keeps on coming out the right side of it. He has his chance again here.
Three. Four.
Obviously the red by the black. So the one he was honing in on. Black might pot anyway from where it is.
11.
I don't think he could have got any straighter than that, playing it left-handed with holding drag. Hard shot to play with your correct hand. So now he can see the winning line somewhere, not
18.
right there yet, but it's looming. And he's played very well today, O'Sullivan, because he's been put under pressure. The kind of pressure he's almost been obeying other people to place him under, and I think Carter's done that. It's the best performance I've seen from O'Sullivan for a while. He played great in the UK, but final, overall, maybe today,
24.
been even better. Others might not agree, but seems to know
25.
the matches to really
Building a useful lead here
32.
in this 17th frame. He's looked completely zoned in tonight.
33. 30 now.
Now this time he just screws in and out of the bunch. Almost wanted to stun them a little more. Which means he's lost the cue ball, but there's, I think, a red that goes to left middle. If it went in, it's a difficult shot. This is the shot again, he just screws out of them a little bit. I was going to say it might have been match ball. Wasn't easy.
Settle down now, please.
Carter hanging on here. 9-7 down, 44 behind. Oh, a couple of people were shouting, you've got it. Just stayed out. That could be his last shot.
Yeah, from that low angle, it looked good at the start, didn't it? But clearly, that part of the pocket is not the right one. Yeah, this shot. Surely if this goes in, then Sullivan is almost there. Hard to think, realistically, that Carter would come back to the table with a live chance from this position. This is where we can close out this Masters.
Well, he's just an extraordinary character, isn't he, in our sport?
8.
Sullivan can be divisive. You can love him, you can hate him, you can agree with him, you can disagree with him, you can support him or not support him. What you can't do is ignore him. Well, he's not won yet. Now, that is a surprise. The stage was set there for the finale, and it's not over yet.
Well. Can you believe that? He seemed a bit hesitant, didn't he? He looked at another shot.
Can you keep your voice down, please? Thank you. Otherwise, you will have to go. Thank you.
Oh dear. Well, I'm afraid the challenge has petered out, and it's done so in the last couple of frames, because he's had a couple of chances this frame. That was the worst miss. The crowd might have got to him, but he's not really going to blame them. He's been beaten by the man on the table, not the people in the audience. They've been vocal, but they've had a great day. Most of them are seeing their hero win.
8.
Well, he didn't kill it off on the last visit, but now he needs this red.
9.
So, as at the UK Championship, he's come to another major tournament where he was already the youngest winner, and he's going to be the oldest. You just wonder where this story is going to end. 48 years of age, still right at the top of the game.
70.
And he's going to go to the World Championship in April with a chance to make it 888 for the 3 biggest titles in our sport. Quite extraordinary.
Well, it'll end one day, but that day is not anywhere near, clearly, that he can still pick up these huge events in snooker. Huge events. Against all the very best around, and well, he's still that man, isn't he? There's no argument there.
Settle down now, please. 31.
For an 8th time, Ronnie O'Sullivan is the master.